What's up, team? Today we are talking about subtracting polynomials. You'll see the learning target down here. It says I can find the difference between two polynomials. The process of subtracting polynomials is super similar to adding polynomials. There's just one additional step. In fact, I left the 3 steps up here from when I last taught adding polynomials, and I added what I'm calling a step 0. So steps 1 and 2 and 3 are exactly the same as our most recent lesson when we added polynomials. We're just going to throw in this additional step 0, if you will, where we distribute the negative sign. So if you felt comfortable with these first 3 steps, you're going to be in a great spot. I'm going to show you how to do this one additional step, and here's how we do it. So here are 2 binomials. We have 5x minus 5 minus the binomial of x plus 7. Well, our step 0 says, so I'm going to say step 0 here. We need to distribute this negative sign. So that means we're not going to touch the first polynomial, not even a little bit. We're leaving it as is. The second polynomial, however, we're going to turn this, take this negative, multiply it by x. So we're going to have a negative x, and then we're going to take it and multiply it by our 7. So it's negative 7. So now we have our 2 polynomials. We're still adding, but now we're adding 5x minus 5 plus negative x minus 7. Sorry, this is a little sloppy. So it's the same thing. These 2 things have the same value. The reason why we do this step is so when we remove the parentheses and rearrange, that we don't lose track of our negative sign. Because what we're doing, this negative sign doesn't say, it's not just minus x. It's minus x and it's minus 7. That's the power of the parentheses here. So we distribute that in, turn it into an addition problem, and then we just proceed as we did before. So step 1 now. Step 1, remove the parentheses. So now we have 5x minus 5 minus x minus 7. So this negative sign came down, this negative sign came down. If we didn't do that step 0, things would get things would go south for us here, because we would have the minus x just fine, but then we'd have a plus 7, and we should not have a plus 7 because we are subtracting that entire polynomial, not just the first term. Okay, step 2, rearrange. We're going to put all the like terms by each other. So I have a 5x, I have just an x, I have a constant of 5, and I have a constant of 7. Now we're combining like terms for our third and final step. If I have 5 x's and you take one of them away, I have 4 x's remaining. And then over here, we have a number that's going to get even smaller. So we have negative 5, and we're going to take away 7 from that. So it's going to get further away from 0. So we're going to go from negative 5 to negative 12. And this is our new binomial. This is the difference between these 2 binomials that we're given. Okay, 1 down, 1 to go. This one's a little bit trickier. This one in pink here. So we have 2 trinomials, 2x squared plus 3x plus 2 minus negative 5x squared minus 2x minus 9. So this one, the part where this one's going to get especially weird is when we distribute this negative sign, we're going to have to, there's a whole bunch of negatives. All this stuff's going to end up turning positive, as you'll see. So step 0. The 2x squared plus 3x plus 2, we don't even mess with that. We just write it down again. Then we start distributing. Here, here, and all the way out here. Negative times a negative is a positive, so we're going to have a positive 5x, a positive 2x, 5x squared, my mistake, positive 2x, and a positive 9er. Again, this step 0 sets us up so that we're pretty much in the position that we were in when we did the adding polynomials lesson. So now we're just going to follow the same 3 steps we did previously. Step 1, drop the parentheses. Now that everything is distributed, plus 5x squared plus 2x plus 9. Now that everything's distributed, we're not going to lose any negative signs or anything like that. We happen to not have any negatives here. That's because we distributed them, and that's just how it happened to work out. A lot of times you will have negatives like we did a moment ago. Okay, step 2, let's rearrange. I see some squareds, so I'm going to start with those first. 2x squared plus 5x squared. And just to keep track of things, I'm going to cross them out as I go so I don't do anything twice or I don't miss any pieces here. Now just my regular x's, 3x plus 2x, and then the constants, 2 and 9. We have 3 pairs of like terms now. We have the x squared, we have the x's, and we have the constants. So let's wrap this thing up with step 3. I have 2x squareds. I have 5 more of them, so I'm going to add the coefficients, and I learned that I have 7x squareds. Now with the x's, I have 3 and I have 2 more, so there's 5 total. And the constants, 2 plus 9 is 11 all day long. Boom, there it is. This trinomial minus this trinomial lands us here at this brand new trinomial. Subtracting polynomials is just like adding polynomials, but there's one additional step where we distribute the subtraction sign. So this was a short and sweet one. I hope it helps out. Check out the practice problems, check out the notes. Let me know if you have some questions.